Can I stop others forwarding messages? Hi everyone, I'm Leo Notenboom for askleo.com, where we've been answering questions and such about email since 2003. If you're watching this on YouTube, be sure and hit that subscribe button down below so you get every video that I release throughout the week. And at the end of the video, if you found this at all helpful or interesting, hit the thumbs up button. Both of those actions help others on YouTube find what they're looking for when they search. Here's today's question. Is there any way I can keep from letting people forward emails or other messages I have sent them on to others? No. Simplest answer ever. No, you cannot. And it actually gets worse. Once you send a message, it is completely out of your control. And by all control, I mean you can't unsend it. There's no way to get it back. You cannot reliably tell if it's been received. You cannot reliably tell if it's been read or deleted or forwarded. You cannot prevent it from being forwarded, copied, or changed. This applies to almost all messages, be it emails, text messages, instant messages, whatever you're using to get a message from one person to another. Some might allow you to control it if you act quickly enough, but those are few and far between, and quickly enough varies dramatically from a few seconds to the moment someone happens to open the email. I said reliably in a couple of cases. I get pushback on this every time I talk about it. There is no way to know if someone opened an email reliably. We can get like 80% using images, right? If you have an image in an email that you send to somebody, when they open that mail, if they view the image, then there are ways to track whether or not they viewed the image. Email service providers like my own, Aweber, use that kind of technology all the time. MailChimp, etc., they all use this kind of open tracking. But it's known to be imprecise because it relies on the user's email program behaving a certain way. If, for example, images are never shown, which is the default, then there's no feedback. If there's a request for a return receipt, which is part of the email protocol, that's routinely ignored. So most of the time you might get some kind of idea whether an email has been read or opened, but it cannot be done reliably. And that's something that I think is very important. And finally, of course, even if you could reliably track whether an email was opened, there's no way to know whether somebody's eyeballs actually fell onto it and read it from top to bottom. There is no way to know whether it's been read, other than maybe asking the person later. So changed is something that I included in my list. And honestly, if you're concerned about your email being forwarded, this might concern you a little bit more. When you forward an email, all you're really doing is creating a new email with the old email as its body initially, a body that can be edited. Think about that again. You forward on an email, but before you hit send, you can go down into that original message and change what it says. You can change a yes to a no. I hate you to I love you. To the boss is wonderful to the boss is an idiot. All that kind of stuff can be done to the email that gets forwarded. You get the idea, right? If you're concerned about your email being forwarded, you really need to trust your recipients not to actually modify your message before they do so. So what do you do? Well, there's not a lot you can do. This is the way these technologies work. They do allow you to forward. There is no feedback, and it can be modified. What that really means is trust your recipients. If you don't trust them, don't communicate with them. At least don't communicate information that might be sensitive using a technology that might be forwarded or modified. It's one of the reasons that attorneys often insist on telephone calls, voice calls, because it's typically illegal to record and much more difficult to modify. Email is very easy to capture, subpoena, etc. Point being, though, that you really do need to trust the recipient, and if you don't, then don't send them anything you wouldn't want made public. That's pretty much as simple as it gets. But to answer your question again, no, you cannot prevent forwarding. Hope that was helpful. For the original article on which this video is based, for related links, for updates and comments, visit askleo.com/2509. I'm Leo Notenboom. This is askleo.com. Thanks for watching.